しで高校学校かけごっこ朝の陰謀しのこの言わずに東京観光大統領受け子は高級車で挨拶はごきげんようジョン・レノンは殺されたの退屈な授業エスケープ起動でカントで終わるハズバの世界が色づくカントでコンティニュー小さな革命だと放課後ディストラクション放課後ディストラクションテンカウントで終わる世界はモノクロだった朝の鍛錬一二の三子で高校学校かけごっこ朝の陰謀しのこの言わずに東京観光大統領受け子は高級車で挨拶はごきげんようジョン・レノンは殺されたの退屈な授業エスケープ起動でカントで終わるハズバの世界が色づくカントでコンティニュー小さな革命だと放課後ディストラクション放課後ディストラクションテンカウントで終わる世界はモノクロだった朝の鍛錬一二の三子で高校学校かけごっこ朝の陰謀しのこの言わずに東京観光大統領受け子は高級車で挨拶はごきげんようジョン・レノンは殺されたの退屈な授業エスケープ起動でカントで終わるハズバの世界が色づくカントでコンティニュー小さな革命だと放課後ディストラクション放課後ディストラクション
What is up, everybody? What is up? Welcome, one and all, to LootCast episode 7. Episode 7. We are happy to have you today right here on youtube.com/thegamelooters. And not only today do we have a big show lined up for you. We're talking Xbox. We're talking Nintendo news. We're talking Overwatch. Yeah, we got one for Mr. Codex over there. And we're talking id Software changes. A ton of stuff has been happening this week, and we are covering it today. But with the big show comes a big panel, and oh my, we have a huge panel today. So, I want to introduce my awesome guest today, starting with Mr. Mono Pulse. Look at
Hey!
that. Hey.
What's up, guys?
What is up, Mr. Mono Pulse? How you doing?
Not bad. A little tired, but made it through the day. How are you guys?
Yeah, doing fantastic. About the same, honestly.
Exhausted.
Feel that?
A little exhausted. Speaking about exhausted, Jake the Snake. What up, Pro Jakin over there? What up, buddy? How you doing?
It's true. I am perpetually tired. One of these days, I'm just not going to wake up.
I mean, that's gonna happen.
I mean,
to
aren't we
of
all?
us.
Yeah. Isn't that the truth?
I like how we all cackle.
I'm
at
doing
it,
great.
Yep. That's fantastic to hear. On to the next, the green screen, Mr. Codex, who's on mute. What is up, brother?
What is up, my man? I am here. Can't wait to do the podcast. And if maybe you're wondering what I've been playing. Been playing a little Overwatch and playing a little Apex,
That's great. We're not there yet. All right, and we have a fantastic guest today, Mr. Chris Levi. What is up, man? Thank you for coming on this week's episode of the LootCast. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. I love that backdrop there. We got Halo. Is that Wolverine back there too?
That's Halo, Wolverine, A Day to Remember, and Kingdom Hearts.
There we go. You
Nice.
gearing up for Marvel's Ultimate Alliance. I see that
Yes.
Wolverine poster.
I just put it up today.
Hey, I like it. I like it. Well, last but not least, Cynthia, hello.
Hi.
You're so far away. It's like,
I know.
how you doing? Besides
Tired.
exhausted.
Yeah, I mean, still working apparently. But yeah, I mean, good to be here.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing the energy. All right, so
Thanks.
now
We're
we're
all
gonna
full of
talk.
it today.
Now we're gonna talk about what we've been playing. Panel with whoever wants to start first. What have you guys been playing? And mostly everybody in here is content creators. What kind of content have you guys been working on? If you have anything in the spank bank of content on what folks can expect, please go over it. Whoever wants to start.
My list is short and sweet, so I'll get it out of the way. I haven't played much. I picked up a game called Hell Let Loose, which is like a milsim World War II shooter, team-based. It's pretty fun and addictive. No content this past week, but I got a special day off tomorrow, and it looks like it's going to be Persona Day.
Nice. In the
You're
words
welcome.
of Mr. Taro Roar, I like it. I like it. Persona Day, that speaks to my heart. I love that you're doing anything relative to Persona, and I hope everybody in the world plays Persona because you need to. Jake the Snake over there, what you working on, man? How you doing? What you playing?
I'm still playing Mario Maker. I am working. I'm thinking about playing more games than I'm actually playing. I
Okay.
almost played God of War today because I need to finish it. I really thought about it. Didn't do it because I came home, immediately left, and then and I'm just, my body is ready for tomorrow morning. So I'm picking up Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, 7 a.m.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. You're taking it back old school, huh? The early pickup?
Well, my Walmart, they only ordered 4 copies, or they only got 4 copies. And I'll be damned if one of those people gets them before I do. So I'm not going at midnight because I got work in the morning, but we get there bright and early.
Cool. Well, I have a question, and what I know that since last week I asked you the same thing, but this week I want to ask you, why are you excited about Marvel's Ultimate Alliance? But I'll do that after we all have recapped. Mr. Codex, what have you been playing, sir? And do you have any content lined up for our channel? You tell me, friend.
No, I don't. But what I have been playing,
Wow.
I've been jumping back into the shooters.
Okay,
I've
tell
been
us.
playing an Overwatch, trying to. I'm thinking about making a new account on it to get ready for the new role queues because that's gonna be exciting. As well as for Apex, the season just started and they have a ranked mode, so I just jumped into that, and it's actually pretty interesting having a battle royale and ranked at the same time because I think the way they do it is smart. So I like it. So
Isn't Season 2 Apex having ranking as well? And also, Are the rewards for the season 2 pass any better than the first one?
That's what I was saying. Apex ranked is what I'm playing.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought you were talking about ranking in Overwatch for some reason.
No. I'm doing my placements too, but for ranked, what it does is like starts you off at the beginning, and then you have to pay like essentially SR to play the game, and you have to like by doing certain things you gain it, and then you get it at the end. So you can end up losing just on being bad. So I like that. And then the battle pass, I don't know. Honestly, I haven't invested money in battle pass in a while.
Gotcha.
No
So
reason to.
going back into your roots, going back into those competitive shooters, trying to work up your way through the ranks is what I'm hearing.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Real quick, I want to give some shout outs to the chat. Thank you, Brian, for showing up. Thank you, Taro, for showing up. My dudes, welcome, Philip, and welcome, one and all. Okay, Mr. Chris Levi, what have you been playing, my friend, and what kind of content you working on?
As far as content, I don't know what the next thing I'm doing outside of streams, but as far
Okay.
as on stream or off stream, I've been getting back into GTA 5 because my buddy wants me to be there when they drop the casino update. I think next week or the week after. And then outside of that, on the Nintendo Switch, I finally got Mario Odyssey all this time later because I didn't get my Switch till April of this year, and I'm enjoying that game. It's a fun Mario game, and then been every week been playing Apex Legends, so I'm enjoying.
Very nice. What platform are you playing Apex on?
I played mostly on the Xbox, but a little bit on PC too.
Gotcha. And you
Good
said
man.
you're gonna be streaming too. Are you gonna be streaming GTA, or what kind of stream plans you got?
I'll probably stream the GTA stuff. Yeah, I streamed some last night on my channel.
Very nice. Also, make sure to drop your link to that way people check you out. Okay, Miss Cynthia, what you been playing?
I mean, it's been a light week for us. We went back into Battlefield? I mean, we played that once.
Battlefront.
Yeah, sorry, Battlefront. I mean, the whole battle gets me confused. But yesterday we actually dove back into some Sea of Thieves. They had an update. So if you guys didn't know, Rare is planning on doing a monthly update now with Sea of Thieves to make sure that they're providing more consistent content for the game. I mean, so yesterday's update was called the Black Powder Stashes. Very interesting, all around the gunpowder barrels. And so it was pretty fun. Dom almost fucked it up at the very end by blowing me up.
It was hilarious.
With the one that actually
Go
mattered.
check out our Twitch clips.
Yeah, it is the one that actually mattered, and he almost got me with the cannon.
He's got a long history of that. Actually.
Yes. If you guys didn't see, not yesterday's stream, the day before that, he blew me up. Very fun, apparently. But apart from that, I mean, Pokemon Go. I mean, but that's just, to and from work kind of thing. Or before I get home, like not actually at home. But apart from that, I mean, like I said, light week, nothing crazy. Oh, I did hatch myself today a shiny Ponyta, so I was really excited about that. That's a win. It literally happened like 10 minutes before the stream started. I was like, holy shit. So I was really happy about that.
Cool. Chat over here, we got Demon Killer, Gabriel Iglesias hype, and Taro's super excited about that. You all get the gunshots. Boom. Myself, I've been playing the same thing. I've been playing Sea of Thieves, been playing Battlefront. This has been like a lull week, honestly, as I've been telling you guys on the podcast and IRL is I just been really excited for Fire Emblem 3 Houses. That comes out next week. So I just been gearing up my mind, soul, body, and everything else for Fire Emblem 3 Houses next week. I'm ready to be the teacher, teach my ranks, get into battle, get into war. I'm very, very excited about it. It's going to be the game I stream, I play, I do videos on. That's what I'm going to be doing going forward. I'm just very excited about that. So I've really just been playing Sea of Thieves, Battlefront. Still been playing a little bit of Mario Maker. I tried out Jake the Snake, tried out Jaken's level the other day. It gave me a minor aneurysm because it just, it was not, it was good. Just wasn't good for me. So
I'll beat it.
There you go. Yeah,
It's not even a hard level.
It really. I get it. It's just frustrating. It's the same thing.
It's just funny because there's no checkpoints, and if you You mess up, you have to go back to the beginning.
This is true. This is true, and that's basically all that happened. Was a lot of
I mean,
anger.
I saw him throw a little tantrum with it. It
Absolutely.
was hilarious.
Is what you call a hissy fit. Basically, I didn't get my candy in the store. I need my candy.
He legitly was like jerking, like like shaking the Switch.
Can't throw the Switch. He's got like
Yeah.
vigorously shake.
Yeah, and like I even stared at him at one point. I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then like he looks at me. It's like, I hate Jake right now.
Demon,
Yes,
I
good.
agree. We gotta play Sea of Thieves again. And on that note, what we have to play is this awesome transition music. And let's go ahead and kick into the show. Again, we have a huge show lined up for you guys. And we're starting off with the Mean Green Titan Machine. Mr. Monopulse, take it away. What is this week's news, brother?
Well, you know what? Maybe a little bit of bias here. I floated Xbox to the top of the list because I see, honestly, in my opinion, great things moving forward for Microsoft in the future. Stock right now, actually, just a heads up, it's really close to fair price. If you want to get in and nab some right now, it's actually not too.
My guy.
hey, it's a 143-ish or something like that. Fair trade is like 130, so hop in because they're gonna boom. I really do think that. So a couple of quick tidbits is actually on the Game Pass, actually. So Xbox Game Pass is going to be adding a few more games as they continue to grow that library. Coming this month in July is going to be like Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain,
Nice.
Killer Instinct Definitive Edition,
Okay.
Dead Rising 4, Middle-earth: Shadow of War, and Undertale. Additionally, Microsoft has come forward and said that if you have an Xbox Live Gold or Game Pass subscription, you actually update all the time you have already accumulated into an Ultimate Pass for just $1. So with the Game Pass continuing to just churn out what I think is catered towards really like gamer feedback and what like gamers would actually like, multi-platform, treating them right by upgrading their membership for $1, any backlog time, and continuing adding those titles. I mean, that's just one step forward for Microsoft. What do you guys think?
They're adding some pretty good games, and I love what they're doing. Where they're taking games, I think I talked about this last week. They're taking games that are on the Switch that cost money and putting them free on Game Pass. Like, if people wanted to play Undertale, but they weren't sure about it, they didn't really want to spend the money.
Yo, real quick, homie, real quick. It sounds like your mic is in your throat.
I mean, my mic is like.
Oh,
There we go.
That sounds better.
You cleared up. Whatever you were doing for money or whatever. I'm glad you stopped.
You were saying.
So Undertale?
All right, guys, have a great night.
Bro.
What
I'm
up,
here
Jack?
to help.
We're waiting, Jake.
Huh?
We're waiting. We
I was
were
just saying.
deep in that Game Pass conversation.
And I also
I'm
like
just
where you're
saying.
going with it.
I was just saying that they're taking games that people might want to buy and then making them free. And also, Killer Instinct is just a great game.
You know what?
Play me on there, Dom.
It actually is. I did a video very in the infancy of our YouTube channel of Killer Instinct, and it was one of the first videos to do really well. And I had never played Killer Instinct besides the N64 game, like way back when. And I was pleasantly surprised that like not more people were talking about it. And I'm not really a fighting game guy, and I'm terrible at them. But if I was, that'd probably be in my rotation because it was really solid.
Not
Yeah,
to
it's
mention
fun.
getting a full featured Metal Gear. That was the one that kind of surprised me.
Yo, what
Yeah.
up, Chips?
I always get confused with the Metal Gear 5 because isn't there like 2 Metal Gear 5s? There's like a mini one and then there's the full length one.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, I think there was like
So
a prequel one, and then the actual
yeah,
game.
yeah. I don't know which is which, and I'm always hesitant to
I've
play one because I don't know which one is
I've
which.
still
But I should
never
just Google it.
played 5. I didn't play. I have 4. Played maybe half an hour, and I never played. Nor do I own 5. I still never have yet. They just never really interested me to play them. But
Yep.
this could be a
Now's a good
chance.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, now it's a great time for more Fire Emblem. But what I wanted to hear was, I know Chris Levi. I know, I'm not putting you on the spot, but I know you're an Xbox guy. You like Game Pass. What are your thoughts on these constant deliverings of games
Well,
to it?
Well, I like what Game Pass does because for cheaper than what any other console company like Nintendo or PlayStation or even what you can get on your computer, they're giving you games that you can play now with Game Pass open on your computer or on your console. And it's not just, oh, it's a bunch of indie games, it's a bunch of shovelware. No, it's AAA games. You're getting Metro Exodus, which is a game you can only play through the Epic Store, and people don't like doing that on PC. You can get it on your Xbox and play it for basically free with if you're paying $10 a month or you're paying the $15 when you're getting the ultimate. And it's like, how can you beat that when you can play top rated games that came out over this generation right there at the ease of just downloading it and bam. You don't have to be like PlayStation where they got PlayStation Now and you got to stream the game and only certain games they let you download, or be like on Nintendo and you've got to pay full price for that game, even though some games now are discounted on Xbox and PlayStation through Game Pass. You're getting them for free basically, and it's like, I love it. I play on it all the time. I download games all the time. There's probably about a handful of games that I probably downloaded, haven't played yet, but I will play a little bit of them here or there. And it lets me be able to try out new games, indie games, games that I wouldn't think about trying out, and it's really really cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I think it's one of the things that I constantly promote as one of the best services out there. Now, obviously, I wish that Xbox themselves had more exclusives, but what they are doing is every exclusive going forward, like the Gears, like Gears 5 and the beta test is coming this weekend. If you have Game Pass, you can automatically go in and try out that beta. And they do cool things like that. And they also do give you the ultimate editions of all the game if you have Game Pass. So, like Forza, they released the Lego expansion, which is top notch. It's actually super fun. And that was, I didn't have to think about it. I just automatically had it. I didn't have to worry about paying DLC costs or expansion costs. And it's really cool that they do that. Vice versa, what Chris said about being on the PC, I also do play games on the PC. Not only play 2, I only play Sea of Thieves and State of Decay, but it's nice that I have that option to go back and forth from different platforms because of Game Pass with the games that I do play frequently. And I think that's a really good value. But speaking about value, what else is Xbox bringing to us?
Well, what's valuable is the way that they may pair up their next generation of consoles. Now, of course, we know the Xbox One and the Xbox One X were, sort of akin to the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4 Pro. But recently, there's some rumors and speculation going around. The Xbox Scarlet release will surprise, and then the console price update. Well, we actually ended up taking that part out because they actually couldn't confirm that. But basically, the gist is new Xbox Scarlet rumors suggest that Microsoft will release a second console that will help boost the xCloud service and may also be the reason why they decided to end the Lockhart project. Microsoft is reportedly working on a cloud console device that will cost less than the Xbox Scarlet and may have even contributed to the downfall of the rumored Lockhart project. So the interesting takeaway on this is essentially it's kind of posed as, well, you're going to get your full featured Scarlet. This is going to be complementary to the xCloud service, and a couple of times in the articles I looked at, it's mentioned as a direct competitor to any forthcoming and Stadia coming out. It'll be a much easier, much cheaper alternative as well. Speculation is something like, maybe you'll get a small xCloud device for somewhere around $60 to $100, maybe a controller for $50 to $75, and it would be really easy to get on xCloud on the go since it would be so super portable. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing necessarily. I'm fairly neutral on it. It's just not the market for me, but I can understand from some perspective that, you know, the price points between a PS4 and a PS4 Pro aren't dramatic, but if you had something that was maybe $100 or less, that could really maybe push that through for people.
Yeah, I agree. I'm very interested to see on what the panel's thoughts are, but I have some thoughts on this too.
I would just say that more options are never a bad thing, especially when the Xbox crowd is such a varied group of individuals. You know, if they drop, say someone drops $400-$500 on the PS5 and they want the new Xbox, but they don't want to pay full price for an Xbox, why not have a cheaper option for that's more or less just a streaming box?
Lock into the game service, right? Game Pass, super cheap.
Mhm.
Hook them, keep them over the long run. You're going to get people that may not end up buying multiple consoles. I'm one of those people. I'm
Or-
not going to buy an Xbox.
Or
Yeah.
it's also catering to the people who already have an Xbox right now,
True.
right? Because that's going to be an option to stream there. Sorry, Codex, what were you going to say?
No, yeah, this is just gonna be my Xbox Lite, and it's very appealing. I've been trying to find an excuse to get myself to spend money on an Xbox for a long time, and honestly, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna commit to getting the next generation of Xbox. But I mean, if they can provide something earlier that would kind of give me a little bit of like a toe in the water, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, Xbox. So here's where I stand: is I'm going to get probably both new consoles when they come out,
Same, yeah.
but I'm going to get the Xbox, the top of the line Xbox when it comes out, and I probably will wait on the PS5
Really?
unless, yeah, just because I don't feel like, you know, the best Xbox thing is it's the best way to play third-party games, which you can't deny it. And there's not a whole lot of PlayStation exclusives that are coming up in the next 2 years
Mhm.
that I'm like clamoring for. I never finished The Last of Us, so that when that comes out, you know, I can play it on my PS4. I don't really need the PS5 to play that. When God of War 2 comes out, whenever that comes out, if I don't have a PS5 by then, I'll get it then. But Xbox is just gonna be where more of my friends are, and probably just the more accessible platform for me.
Yeah, that makes sense. Chris, Cynthia, any thoughts on that?
Not really. I mean, like, I've never really had an opinion on, like, Game Pass or anything. mean-
xCloud.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that they're merging them together, you know, for a bigger discount. But I paid the dollar already, so not much more I can say on it.
Yeah, I think it's cool that they're doing this. You know, I mean, it helps a lot. A lot of people that maybe are iffy about getting an Xbox, which me personally, I'm like Jake, and I'm gonna go get the Xbox next Xbox when it comes out. Because Halo, as you can see, is one of my favorite franchises all time, and I'm ready to jump into that next Halo. Because it's been quite a while since I've touched a Halo game. I mean, a little bit of Master Chief Collection here and there, but it's cool that they're doing this. And with XCloud, what I really like about that is that they're basically giving you a version of Xbox that like it's on the go. So like, hey, if you want to have your own console Xbox and then you want to go on the go like a Nintendo Switch, you can just buy the controller, hook it up, and you're on the go, and it's really really cool. So I can't wait to see where they go with this. And having a cheaper model can get a lot more people into their even like Xbox doesn't traditionally say, oh well, we need you to have a console. They still want you to get your money some way, and in their I guess I don't know what I'm saying really, but you're in their ecosystem, you should
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And being able to do that, that means that hey, you ain't got a traditional Xbox. You can sit there and hey, you got a PC? Oh yeah, you can play the same game that I'm playing right here on my Xbox. You got a phone? Yeah, or a tablet? Well, hey, I'll let you borrow my controller since I have two controllers, and now you're playing the same game with me, and you're just sitting right here on the phone. And that's what's really cool is that they're stepping out of the realm of saying, hey, we see what Nintendo's doing, we're seeing what PlayStation doing, but let's take it a step farther and actually use something that everybody has and be able to put our services on there.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. And what's up, NX? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I agree. I think Xbox is definitely setting up the bricks for the road that lies ahead. I think they've been really setting themselves up for success going into this streaming future, and I think they also have the best chance of succeeding in that realm of the business that doesn't really yet exist today, because they already have this console market, and they're gonna say, hey, well, your options are stream on your Xbox that you already have, stream on this new box that's gonna be relatively cheap, I'm assuming, or spend X amount of money on this brand new machine that'll do this, or all the other devices you have. You're able to get into the ecosystem, like Chris said, because you already have those devices. So I think they're really setting themselves up for success. For me, I'm not like Jake. I probably won't jump into the Xbox. That probably won't be my first expense, is the Scarlet. It will probably be the PS5, just because I think there are games like Death
He's
Stranding.
gonna get Scarlet because I need it.
Well, maybe, but here's the thing: is like games like Halo that I think that are probably going to be backwards compat with my One X now, maybe even my PC. I may not need to buy in and buy the box because I still might be able to play the games. But PS5 is gonna have games like Ghost of Tsushima, Death Stranding, games that will interest me and will only be on that one box. So, for me, I think I'm opposite on that.
But didn't they patent backwards compatibility for the PS5?
Yes, they did. Thankfully. But there's probably gonna look better on the PS5, and I mean, graphic horror over here. I mean, I gotta go where it's gonna look a little bit sharper.
You are
megahertz.
Chris made me think of an analogy. I'm world famous for my analogies. Microsoft is like the owner of a stadium. They don't give a shit if you buy hot dogs or beer or popcorn, as long as you spend your money.
This is true. This is
That was
true.
me, bro.
This is
And
true.
the thing I like about it is that they're making it easier to spend your money, right? Because I like me on PC, I buy a Game Pass. I can sit at my PC. I can play whatever I want. And if I really want to like get into a console type experience over on the couch, maybe I can get in for that for $100 and not $400, $500, which I'm not going to spend otherwise.
Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yo, what up, Brax? Welcome to the stream, brother. But really, who really wants you to spend money though, at least as of late, is Nintendo. And I think Nintendo is they've been in the news a lot lately, Chris, and there's particularly in the news this week because there's some changes coming in the wind.
Yeah, it's not all about the big green giant, right? We've also got Team Red, Nintendo America, Pro Jakin. What up? Of course, we are following on the tail end of the Nintendo Switch Lite being announced, and there was some speculation because last week we talked about some leaked tech documents about changes to the existing board that's in the Switch patent change. So it looks like moving forward, the new Nintendo Switch model is going to have a lot more battery life, quote unquote, a lot more. Of course, your mileage may vary. Nintendo is updating the original version of Switch to offer better battery life, up to 9 hours on a single charge, according to the official Nintendo of Japan website. According to the website, the new Switch revision will last between 4.5 and 9 hours per charge. Nintendo estimates that players will get about 5.5 play time with Breath of the Wild on the updated model. On the original Switch, Nintendo estimated 2.5 to 6.5, with 3 hours being the Breath of the Wild time. And not only that, to complement your new updated Switch, you guys are getting new Joy-Cons.
Ooh, ooh.
Question.
Everybody's hyped for this. What's up?
Are they fixing the Rift?
No,
Yeah.
absolutely
Drift.
not. No, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a
Oculus
problem on the
Rift.
Switch Lite 2, and you won't be able to fix it on that one,
I
unfortunately.
mean, we don't know. We don't know yet. We don't know. They might have put in better parts and stuff. Instead of China,
No.
they went to Taiwan or some other place. We don't know yet, Chris.
But you can, on this one, you can change out, right, with the new battery switch, because the Switch owners will be able to brighten up their system with 2 new Joy-Con colorways coming in October. They are going with blue/neon and neon purple/neon orange. They will retail at $79.99, which is the same price for the Joy-Con experience currently. And they are aiming at GameCube nostalgics.
Absolutely, me specifically, because that purple. I know Jake's over team burnt orange or whatever he is over there, but I mean that purple, that's life right there.
Yeah, but you say it's yellow. You don't say it's orange.
It's like a deep
It's
yellowy
fucking orange.
orange.
It's not the orange I particularly like. That orange
It's
is
ugly.
like it's an unripened pumpkin, like a pumpkin that's not quite finished yet. I don't really like it.
I
But
mean, I like the purple. That's for
Purple,
sure.
yeah, it's beautiful.
with
I don't
my
care for the orange.
with my Mario Red, the orange might look nice, but at the same time, I like the deep blue.
It's pretty ugly, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
But no lie, I'm in love with that blue color though. Like
The
that
blue's
blue.
nice.
Yeah.
The only thing that sucks about the blue Joy-Con is that they're coming with a Joy-Con pair that already exists in the yellow.
Yeah.
Which
like,
is,
hate
I
that
feel like
stupid yellow.
that's like, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of just a little dirty there to give you one
Lazy.
that you probably already have. Yeah, I don't want to use that word, Jake, but yeah, I mean, yeah, lazy.
I mean, well, think of like there's not. What colors could they have matched with blue? Blue and yellow go really well together.
I agree.
I mean, blue's kind of a weird color to match because a lot of the colors that go well with it,
What about
black,
white?
Pink.
silver,
White.
white would have been cool,
White would've
but
been
white
cool.
white is a
Dirty?
in my
Yeah,
mind,
it
yeah,
gets dirty too
illogical
quick.
because it would get really dirty. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but at the same time, not the paint, but whatever they use to coat the Joy-Con, it doesn't seem like it would get that dirty. Like, I mean, it would get dirty, but it doesn't seem like you can't like
It would
wipe
get.
it.
You just gotta
I
wipe
think
it off.
Yeah, I think it would get scuffed, like easy.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the same thing like the white Xbox controllers. I mean, that's not. It's not like they're like black at the ends or anything. They're still kicking around. So I mean, that's a thought. Well, really, what I want to talk about the panel. So really, the main thing was the Switch revision. So one of my main thoughts, one of the things I've been seeing on the internet constantly is a lot of people are saying, does this new revision diminish the announcement of the Switch Lite? And should they suddenly focus a different way? Now, and keep in mind, the new Switch revision is just the same Switch, but different system on chip, which provides better battery life, yada yada. But it's the same price. So I want to know what the panel thinks about that, because that seems to be the buzz on the internet.
Well,
well, is it for me? No, because I've already committed mind, body, and spirit to buying the Nintendo Switch Lite. I already own a Switch. This is for people that do not yet own a Switch and want to have the ability to play it on their TV as well as take it on the go. Because everyone knows the biggest gripe with the Switch was, playing Zelda away from your house and it dying on you. At least for me, it happened to me more than once. I get the new Switch, maybe at some point if something happens with my current one, or they come out with a tasty bundle, perhaps.
yeah.
But it's more so for people that recently bought one that can still return it, or people that need to get a new one. If you're a person and you have the old Switch and you're buying the Lite and you're gonna buy the new one, throw some money my way because you don't know what you're doing. In my opinion.
Throw them dollar bills at Sir Jakin over there. Mr. Chris Levi, I think you were about to say something. What you think, brother?
I'm not going to be getting the Switch Lite or the revision model, but I do have an opinion. Is that I feel like why would you make a revision right after you announce the Lite that has better battery life than this Lite when the Lite's only going to be portable? There's no dock for it, so it should have better battery life than the current model and even the revision, because people are going to be like, I can wait a little bit longer. I can spend a little bit more money and get the one that can do everything that even more than that light, so it does diminish it a little bit. But it's not for me because I just bought my Switch, so I'm still enjoying it for what it is. So the revision isn't for me. The light isn't for me, but I like both of them. There's going to be people out there for the new people that want to jump in, for the people that maybe had the 3DS and stuff like that didn't want to pay that, but they want to have something that's always on the go. The lights for them, but it's definitely not for me.
Yeah, I agree. I'm kind of in the same ballpark as far as the revision goes. I mean, I think it really is just an option for people who don't already have that specific system. I think it's just, well, if you buy one now going forward, this is the one to buy. Personally, I am getting the light because obviously the Pokemon one was announced, and anything that you slap a Pokemon on, I'm all for it. I'm there standing in line day one, so that's just fact. So I will be getting a light, but I don't think it diminishes the light in any way, shape, or form. I think it's just a secondary option for people to now have that does have better battery life. And you are, in comparison to the light, you will be spending an additional $100. So not only are you getting the option to switch, but you are getting the additional battery life that goes along with it. Codex, Cynthia, what you guys think?
I'm still not sure if I'm gonna buy the Switch Lite or not. I'm honestly contemplating it just for like my siblings, but I don't think that's enough to also make me want to buy it.
I mean, I never really cared as far as like system goes. Like, it's cute and all, but like, to be honest, I barely play my Switch now. So what honestly makes me think that I'm going to play a Lite? It's a little bit smaller. Like, I'm still not gonna be able to carry it in my pocket. Like, I don't have pockets. Like,
you'll need a case for it too. I mean, if you think that those analog sticks are gonna just be like super cool,
then you're definitely gonna get like permanent drifting. But like, like the thing is, I'm okay with my Switch. I'll play it, occasionally. Dom can get his damn Pokemon Edition one. But I'm like, I'm not buying one. I don't feel like the need to buy one. At least not now anyway. Maybe when the kids get older, I can see like them benefiting from it. But like, even then, I don't know. Maybe I'll just give them again, like how our daughter right now is playing, the Game Boy Color?
Advance.
Yeah. I mean, something older is probably a little bit better for them, only because they get to practice versus giving them something a lot more expensive, like a $200 console. So, well, like I said, like, I mean, I think I'm gonna pass.
Realistically, our daughter getting a Switch Lite is a long time away. But what's a little longer than I thought was gonna be is the Luigi's Mansion 3 release date. Ain't that right, Chris?
That is right. Now, I suppose there was some surprise around this, but really, I have to say, to no one's surprise, Luigi's Mansion 3 will launch on Halloween for Nintendo Switch. Nintendo confirmed the launch date on Wednesday morning. Really? Did anybody think this would arrive on a date other than October 31st? I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
The spoopy adventure puzzle solver takes a gust boaster and Luigi does his poltergeist super sweeper through a haunted hotel. Luigi's Mansion 3 follows its predecessor by 6 years. So it's a long-awaited title. Are you guys picking it up?
Chris, just real quick, I have you on the payroll just to say spoopy. If you can say that 4 times an episode, you have earned your keep.
Oh, just wait for October. Be all over it.
It's gonna be a spoopy month.
Be spooked.
I mean, I did a video because it was leaked out that this was coming October 4th. I wonder what you guys think, but personally, I think this is just too close to a lot of other bigger releases that may overshadow this game. Even though I think Halloween's a cool idea. I don't know if it's cool in actual practice, but I think it's too close to games like Pokemon Sword and Shield for it being one, because it's like 2 weeks out from there. It's like if I get one paycheck and my choice is Luigi's Mansion or Pokemon, well, I'm gonna save that for Pokemon on a personal level. I don't know what situation I'll be in on Halloween, but I just think it's an interesting move. What do you guys think?
I mean, I think it's kind of cute that it's coming out on Halloween. I mean, like, I might not buy it day one, but I'm still gonna buy it eventually. It's just a really, I mean, considering it's like the haunted mansion, I think it's fitting to come out on Halloween.
It is, but I also think, yeah, I agree. It was kind of a drop ball. Like, I don't think it should have come out on Halloween because it's just like you don't drop things on a holiday. That's like who, I don't know.
It was
I
gonna
don't
be
think many people
overshadowed
would have birthday
regardless.
sales. Huh?
I mean, I think it was gonna be overshadowed regardless because Pokemon was so close to it. So regardless if they moved it up or moved it back, like it was still gonna be
Well,
overshadowed.
I mean, if it launched in like the first few days, first week of October, it had about a month and a half ish to really be the only Nintendo offering, right? So people could have been playing it throughout the whole month of October through Halloween and then transition into Pokemon, as opposed to now again having to make that decision. And we played it at E3, me and Codex did,
Yeah,
and
I didn't.
I like it's fire. Like, I mean, it literally impressed the shit out of me.
It's good.
And it was really, really good. And I'm just like, I'm just a sad. The thing that makes me sad is not that I'm not on a personal level going to buy it. It's that a lot of other people aren't going to because of the other games that it's surrounded by. Probably even Call of Duty at that time of year, right? Like, I don't know. It just doesn't. It just. I don't know. It's just a very odd decision.
I think it's fine. I think it was the right decision.
I don't. I kind of agree with Codex, not for the reason that it's on a holiday. I just feel like they're really missing the opportunity. The fact that Halloween, the entire month is celebrated for Halloween, right? From October 1st, horror movies start playing on the TV. Everyone, they're selling bags of fun-sized candy in the grocery stores. So why wouldn't you release the game, say
During the spooky month, during the schmoopy month.
Spoopy.
The spoopy.
say, you got Zelda and Dragon Quest at the end of September. 2 weeks after that, say you drop Luigi's Mansion, the second week of October. You got the rest of the month to accumulate sales. People are still going to be playing it on Halloween.
For real, yeah. It's cute.
And
It's cute that it's on that.
It's cute. But really, who's going to be... Okay. After Halloween dies down, then the Pokemon hype builds as we get into November. Literally, the day after Luigi's Mansion comes out, people start, counting down 2 weeks to Pokemon.
Yep.
I just don't see the point. I don't see the logic. I don't know why they did it. Obviously, they're a lot smarter than me, but I would never have done that in a million years.
Well, it was a thematic choice, and for better or for worse, that's where we are.
Yeah, I agree. Chris Levi, any thoughts on Luigi and the spoopy Luigi?
I agree with what Jakin said. I think it should have released. I don't mind it releasing on Halloween, but I think it should have released earlier so you could play it during the month of Halloween while you're watching your horror shows on TV and your cartoons that are related to all this, because when it releases like that, people are going to be like, okay, it's 2 weeks to Pokemon. And some people are going to say, I'm not going to buy it because I maybe only get paid every 2 weeks, and I'm going to save money for Pokemon. Like me, I'm going to get the game regardless. But at the same time, as soon as Pokemon comes out, I'm sorry, but that game's going to go to the side because Pokemon is one of the reasons I got a Nintendo Switch, because I haven't played Pokemon forever.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, that and Smash Brothers are the two reasons I got my Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, I
How long have
agree.
you had
I
your
agree.
Switch, Chris?
I've had my Switch since April. Whenever I got my taxes this year, I had enough money saved over to get it.
I was gonna say when we did the podcast with I'm blanking. Avedon. You didn't have a Switch back then, huh?
Didn't have one. Nope.
Oh,
Nah.
yeah.
All right, spotlight's on you, Codex. No pressure.
For what?
Well, really, the
Our
spotlight,
next topic.
honestly, is unlike what Jake said, the spotlight really is on Sony and the new PS5 coming out, and there's some Sony news in the bank this week.
Moving on to Team Blue. There is some Sony news in the bank, and that is, well, the how should we say this? The hermits that Sony have become in their own respect. They're breaking free of that. Basically, Sony announces the first PlayStation conference in over a year. So PS4 fans will soon be treated to the first PlayStation conference since E3 2018. And they will be, since that E3, they have been delivering news, actually, but just not in the conference setting. Instead, they've been delivering it in new and different ways. They have started their own Nintendo Direct style state of play broadcasts. Instead of using major trade shows, they announced the PS5. They used a exclusive Wired review. So using a little bit of different marketing tactics, which, may be more cost effective or just maybe testing the waters. But now Sony, after a lengthy break, are coming back to the trade show arena and will be holding a 2-hour conference next month. You'll be able to catch this on August 1st. That's a Thursday, 5:30 p.m. I'm not sure what time zone that is, though, so you may want to give that a Google. And what will they be talking about at this? Well, of course, they're going to be talking about the specs for the PlayStation 5 to some degree, or at least teasing us. But they also may be talking about their new confirmed VR upgrade generation. So it looks like PSVR 2 is going to be a thing if VR is your thing. It's going to have 560 by 1440 resolution per eye, 120 hertz refresh rate, and 220-degree field of view. It is going to be wireless, much like what I think the Oculus Go is now, or the Oculus Quest. And basically, it's going to have detection sensors that can detect the posture of a head-mounted display worn on the head, and then the status determination section will also determine the user's gaze direction. So it's going to have something sort of like eye tracking, which is actually kind of the new thing happening in VR is tracking your field of vision. So maybe we'll start getting a little bit more of a hefty experience in the VR world, but we'll have to wait till August to find out, which isn't too far away.
You ever watch those YouTube videos where the people put on that or have like that bar that tracks your eyes, and they like try to watch a video and like you just see where their eyes are the entire time? You ever see those?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, every once in a while.
When they're like guys are like trying to not look at boobs the whole time.
Yeah. I do find that interesting. I'm interested to see where VR goes right now. I have done a decent bit of research, and I just don't think it's worth the money for the lack of support and how much they cost and how not great they are. But, this may be appealing to someone. But I think what's really big is we might start getting our first taste of some PS5 solid information soon.
Yeah.
I agree. I think this is the first toe being dipped in the pool of PS5 news, which is really interesting. I think that PSVR needs to be a strong revision. I think that the people who own it love it but don't use it often enough. But I think with this new revision coming out, I think it's going to cater to people who don't want 59 wires lying around just to play this experience. I think it's going to be nice for people to have a wireless experience, and I think it's going to be a good timing set off to go into the PS5 and say, oh, look at this new PSVR that's wireless, yada yada. It's going to complement your PS5, which is more powerful, etc., etc. I think that is going to be a really good thing for VR. And PlayStation VR is one of the things I've always contemplated with when it comes to VR, just because it's the most financially accessible as opposed to the $600 Oculus or whatever else. And I think the price point that you said, right, Mono, was $250.
Thereabouts, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's the new set price for what's going to be the PSVR 2, at least what's predicted. So I think that, for me personally, that's probably a decent jump in, depending, again, what software is offered. That new Iron Man game that they revealed is not enough for me personally. But if they come out with like an It game, I'll jump in for $250 if it's wireless, because that's a big thing for me. And it's going to be interesting as we transition into PS5. What do y'all think?
Well, I'll personally get my thoughts out there. I don't have a PS4, but but I am interested in getting a PS5. So, and I personally have never even tried VR, so I don't know how the experience would be. You know, whether it's PlayStation's version of VR or I think it's like the Oculus or the Vive, stuff like that. I've never tried it, so I don't know what it is. But as far as this PlayStation do it is, maybe because they saw what Xbox did at E3, maybe they will say, "Hey, you know our IPs that are coming out, those Tsushima, The Last of Us, and stuff like that." Maybe they'll finally say, "Hey, well, here's a concrete game that will be coming out at the same release date as our next PlayStation and all that." Because I'm really interested to see what they're going to have to go against Halo and other things that Xbox is going to have at their release. So that's just my few words on that.
It's important to note on this is that Xbox hasn't announced any support for VR at all for their Scarlet system. So it basically, right now, the upper hand, as it were, kind of goes to that to Sony in that respect. So
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see if that matters at all.
Yeah, because I've never seen Xbox to be into like the VR stuff, but they do have that other technology, whatever it is, that is theirs. I think it's called like Hollow.
Or
They show-
HoloLens.
Yeah, the
HoloLens.
HoloLens, and I
Yeah.
wonder why don't they do something with that?
Yeah, the interesting thing is I don't think VR like Chat was saying, it's still in its infancy. I don't think VR is maybe lucrative enough for maybe Microsoft to go down, or at least not yet. But I think because Sony already decided to go down that path, they have to kind of keep pushing a way forward. So I think it's just exciting that if you're a console player, you have an option. So it's nice that at least Sony for the moment just owns that piece of the business, and then they're deciding to revise what they currently have.
I would just say that much like Chris, I've never played VR in my life. I know people that have. Some of my good friends have the PlayStation VR. There's constantly two complaints about it, one of which is less prevalent, that's motion sickness, which really differs from person to person. But one that is pretty universal is that the fact that the wires, and it's such a pain to set up that it almost makes you not want to do it, that it's almost not worth playing it, just the fact that you have to set it up every time.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
So I think it's great that you can eliminate half of the complaints about the system, especially at $250. I personally, I'm not gonna get it just because I don't like. I feel like I get claustrophobic. I'm paranoid by nature. Like I need to be able to see my surroundings. When I go into a restaurant, I sit in the corner with my back to the wall. So I'm not going to be having a thing on my face and not be able to see the room. But I think it's great for people that, want to experience stuff like that hands-on. Sony, if they corner this market, because they got competition, right, with Oculus, everything like that. But if they can really step their game up and for a cheaper price point, then who knows what they could do. Last of Us VR, the possibilities.
Yeah,
It's true.
honestly, the possibilities to make a lot of money can be there if they do it right. And what up, Avedon? Welcome to the stream, my friend. But the one place doing it right, and the one company was Legendary with a movie that we probably all saw, Detective Pikachu, and they made a lot of money.
They did. Not that it was hard to do, or not that it was particularly a challenge, but Detective Pikachu has surpassed the Warcraft movie as the highest grossing video game film of all time. Detective Pikachu, which is the live action mystery movie by director Rob Letterman and Warner Brothers, has surpassed Duncan Jones's Warcraft as the highest grossing film with 436 million in worldwide ticket sales. With that being said, Warcraft's success was largely due to the enormous marketing campaign in China. China absolutely loved it, while in the US it was a big old flop. basically, Detective Pikachu right now has a 67% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and probably locks in the sequel.
Absolutely, it does. I mean, that's a big number. 436 million. That's almost $500 million. So yeah, that pretty much guarantees a sequel is in the works, and I think it's well deserved too. Did most of the panel watch Detective Pikachu? I just assumed everybody did because, come on, Pokemon. But did the panel watch Detective Pikachu?
I did.
Yes, of course.
No,
No?
I
no.
haven't seen it because I live so far away from a movie theater,
Okay,
and
that's
and
understandable.
I think I've spoken to you about this before. I prefer watching movies in my house because I have like a recliner and a big TV and a soundbar and stuff. It's a lot more comfortable than going to a movie theater.
Well,
So,
what I do suggest is, when it does come on Blu-ray soon is, queuing it up.
oh, absolutely. I'm gonna buy that 4K.
There you go. Also, what up, Zachary? And yo, Avana, we out here chilling on the LootCast today. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, but here's the thing. So and correct me, keep me honest. For those who've seen it, it wasn't the best movie to come out, but I think it did represent Pokemon really well. I'm not gonna say it did amazing. I think that for the most part, movie-wise, I think Justice Smith. Hey, Batman Slayer, thank you for the follow. I think Justice Smith and Ryan Reynolds really held the movie up from just it being a movie. But I think the design, the feel of the Pokemon world, even just like the weird Pokeball designs that they had, the feel of it being a Pokemon movie, I think was realized. And I think it does deserve another movie. Maybe it not being Detective Pikachu 2, but maybe it's another Pokemon
I mean, they can't
movie.
do Detective Pikachu 2. At this point, anybody who has had the chance to see Pokemon Detective, if you haven't, I'm gonna spoil it now.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
I
Regardless,
just said I didn't
Don't
watch
spoil
it.
the
Yeah.
movie.
okay,
Don't spoil
okay.
it. We don't
Regardless,
do
okay,
spoilers
fine.
here.
I'll just say they can't make a sequel. They just can't. I
They
mean,
can.
You
They
can't.
can.
No, they can't.
They can
No,
make
can't.
it. They can do
No, they
anything they
can't.
want.
They
That's
can.
the power of
No,
movies.
they can't. No, they can't. Not with the ending.
they
They
can.
can't. No.
They can.
No.
Easily.
No.
Cynthia, you're tripping.
They can. They
No.
can do anything they want with the magic of movies.
Yeah.
Chip says some parts of it were cringy because of their acting, but I feel like the Pokemon magic was there. See, yeah. So I agree. Again, I don't think it was an amazing movie, but I think the Pokemon feel was there, and I think that with what money it made, I think it does deserve another Pokemon iteration of something else,
Yeah.
continuation or whatever. So I think that's extremely interesting, and it just makes me excited as a Pokemon fan to potentially get more Pokemon cards one day.
I'm gonna get it for the culture.
Like I said, I haven't seen the movie, but if it got made that much, and even if it can't make a sequel, I would like to see another Pokemon movie in that style, the way they did it.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. That's something that I definitely want to see. But one thing, Mono, that we won't see is a certain software director at a company, little family company named id Software anymore.
Yeah, and to be honest, this one's mostly for me. Like, I know not everybody has kind of the same heart about this, but my gaming experience was my uncle had a Windows 3.1 computer, which was a GUI Windows and DOS, and I spent my time playing Doom and a couple of other titles. And so it's been around, almost as long as I have in the official fashion in my life, if not a little bit longer. And one of the major, I guess one of the last kind of tenured people stepping down, the veteran ID software developer Tim Willidis is leaving the studio after 25 years. He made the announcement on Twitter. He said, after 24 years, I decided to leave id Software after QuakeCon. I've been extremely lucky to work with the best people in the industry on truly amazing games. And, Romero isn't around anymore. Carmack isn't around anymore. think they should rebrand because they're not it anymore.
So this is
it breaks my heart.
This is an interesting story, and Mono, this is mostly for you, but the panel can answer this as well. One thing that interests me is Tim said that he's going to be venturing out to different things that he's going to be announcing after QuakeCon, right?
Yep.
Okay, so here's the question that I have for you, and this is what I always wonder when I see news stories like this is, do you think id Software has said, okay, Doom Eternal's coming, do you think that they're shifting where they're going future tense, and maybe they said, hey, Tim, it's been a great ride? Do you think it really is just he's moving on to something else? Is he gonna go open a restaurant somewhere, or start a new company, or is it just gonna go see the world? Like, what do you think? Because I've always find these stories interesting when people depart after basically being there since the company opened.
I mean, I don't know. For all things considered, for all we know, he was pressured into leaving. I mean, I have no idea. Maybe they want to take the company in a different direction. I doubt it though, because the way that Doom has really kind of because Wolfenstein is not doing anything for the company. It just ain't. As much as I love it, because it's also a title I've been playing since I was a child. It's just not doing it for the company. Rage isn't carrying them. Doom is pretty much the linchpin of the id, intellectual property right now. So they'd be stupid to change it. But, who knows? He could just be getting out and saving face. He could have been, asked to leave, or maybe he didn't like the direction they were going. Either way, it's just kind of feels like the final straw to an end of an era. And I am a little sentimental about it is all.
Yeah, I agree. I think the positivity bot inside of me says, I think maybe he is going on to something different, and maybe he's even working on a new project for next gen, right? We may see something that is a new shooter a la Doom that's completely different. Maybe he just wanted to get away from what he's just been doing constantly. At least I'm hopeful for that. It's always a hopeful thing to see when talented people leave these companies, that they're gonna go out and make something different, right? Not like the guy from Gears of War who went and tried to do battle royales or whatever and copy people, but I mean actually something good, So that leads us in to the next one. This is what I call the Codex Special. Yo, what up? Maniacal Swing. Thank you so much for the follow. This is what I call the Codex Special. He's talking about Overwatch earlier, and there is Overwatch in the news again. This is we have to blow the dust off of Overwatch for it to be in the news.
I'm surprised that news keeps coming up for Overwatch.
And after like 3 years, what the people wanted, it sounds like they're finally getting it. It took the game to die to do it, but hey, Codex, here you are.
Yeah.
Took the game.
Yeah, we got the spicy news for you, Codex, and with a Blizzard title, the whole goal is for it to be played until the end of time, when the only players left are cockroaches. So in a long enough timeline, they are going to tend to it. But recently, we have some news about Overwatch, and that is that role locking is going to be coming to Overwatch, according to a leaked video. So today, a pre-recorded Overwatch League video was leaked, sharing news that Blizzard is apparently implementing role locking in Overwatch and the Overwatch League. Overwatch's game director Jeff Kaplan confirmed that players will now queue for specific roles in Overwatch games too. Starting soon, all team compositions in Overwatch League will consist of 2 damage dealers, 2 supports, 2 tanks, explained the league staffers. The decision was made because the more that we can do to keep the pro experience in Overwatch League consistent with the live game experience of Overwatch players, the better from the Overwatch League perspective. On the Overwatch subreddit, players are expressing cautious optimism.
Cautious optimism. Real quick, Chris, Levi, do you play Overwatch at all?
I don't play Overwatch. I only played it the few times that they had a free weekend here or there to play it. That's about it.
Gotcha. So then I'll leave it up to my 2 pros, Codex and Jake. And Codex, this is your time to shine, brother. Take it away. Tell me your titillating excitement over there.
There's gonna be a lot of balance changes, which is gonna be something cool, I guess. So what they're kind of trying to do is they're trying to take whoever's in each role and kind of make them more for that role. Like Brigitte, they're starting to push her a lot more towards a healer. I am cautious of this because, like, I don't know, I'm kind of pessimistic to be honest. When it comes to this, I don't like the idea of forcing them into a 2-2-2 role, especially when there's some games where, yeah, you get angry because you don't have certain things. But for example, I played a game yesterday where I played 4 DPS and 2 tanks, and we won. Like that, like the crazy comps like that happen sometimes. But forcing you into those roles kind of makes me like, but what it's going to be is you're going to have 3 different roles you can choose from. Like he said, it's going to be tank, support, and DPS. Each one will have their own individual SR, as well as their own individual queue times. So if you are a Grandmaster DPS, you can still play with Diamond support players or Bronze tank players, depending on how of a player you are. So
much like MMOs, queues and healers will go instant queues, and DPS will be like 15-minute wait time.
Yep. So there's incentivization towards playing those other roles, like getting a loot box per game just for playing tank. So kind of have people jump into those roles just to play.
So does this
Not
mean
surprised,
like no
WoW
more?
does the same thing.
Does this
Oh,
mean
really?
no more like mayhem? Or are they gonna still have like those special matches?
Yeah, they're still
I
gonna
really
have
like those.
arcade, and apparently there's gonna have a competitive. From what I've heard, there's gonna be like the same way comp works in arcade. The way comp works now is gonna be in arcade mode as well. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. It's definitely gonna be interesting. I don't know if it's gonna be what revives the game. Unfortunately, it is a dying game. I hate to admit it.
I think it's just an old game at this point. There's so many more newer games that are coming out, and people are starting to retire it on their shelf. I mean,
I just want a game like Overwatch again so bad, like a game where there's composition, there's balancing.
that's just not Overwatch.
I'm tired of Royale. Like I'm over it. The only reason I kind of into Apex right now is just because there's a ranking system.
So let me ask you this: what if old Jeffy Jeff, Daddy Jeff over there, what if he said tomorrow, this is the new change that's coming, but we're also going free to play? Do you think that would reinvigorate the player base?
Free to play, everyone would flood it.
Would they though? I don't know.
I mean,
no, I don't know either. That's the thing. I don't think free to play will save this game even.
I don't think it'll save it. I think they would see a spike, but I don't think it'll save it.
There'll be a spike for low tier players, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there would be a tremendous amount of new players. Will it save it? I don't think so. Not in the slightest.
There's so many problems with the game, like smurfing and roll queue. Like, it gets to the point where, especially with the glitches right now, it's almost unplayable on console. Right now on PlayStation, there's glitches to where if people spam like need healing or thanks, it'll actually make the whole team's game lag. It's awful. Like, I hate it. People are literally just going in games just saying thanks over and over again to make it unplayable.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it's super toxic. It's I don't know. That's why I love the game, but like angers me to play. Like, even at the highest tier, like I'll play with the Grandmasters, and you'll still end up playing in games where you cannot get a decent composition, which this is going to help fix, but I don't know if there's enough player base anymore to where it really matters.
I still think this announcement is 2 years too late. I think this is something that everybody who played Overwatch, myself included, clamored for. I mean, me and you talked about this same idea 2 years ago, right? And it's barely happening now, which is pathetic in a way, because I think that their player base has diminished too much for this to make an impact. But what I do want to know is, Jake, you play as well still, right? So what do you think of this news?
Yeah, I play from time to time.
Dabble.
I somewhat agree with Codex. I like the idea that I'll no longer be forced into roles I don't want. Because we've all been there where we're on a team and everyone wants to play, there's got 4 people playing DPS, and you want to play DPS, but you have to be a healer just for the sake of, so your team doesn't get absolutely obliterated. So I like the thought of not being forced into a role I don't want.
But
At
what
the
if
same
your role
time,
is taken? Like, isn't there going to be a limit on how many things
well, no,
you
because
can
don't you
select?
queue up? Don't you search as like, say, if you want to be a healer, you search up as a
Yeah.
healer and find a spot as a healer. Yeah, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's not like you
Okay.
pick it once you get into the game.
Oh, so I can
Um,
be diva all I want then.
yeah,
Essentially.
pretty much. Yeah, but I don't like the idea that it takes away some of the. If they keep a game mode where you can just pick whatever you want, because some of the funnest games I've ever played on Overwatch were my entire team played Winston. So like we were just all Winston, just it's just like Gorilla City,
I can
and
see that.
and that's like some of the creative fun stuff you can do in Overwatch that's not so competitive based, that I'm worried is going to disappear with this new this new thing they're doing. But if this is something they're just gearing up and testing the water on before they let out Overwatch 2, then I mean, you guys are saying that it's a dead game. What better place to test new ideas than on a game that still has a user base but not a outrageous one?
During a
And
time when everyone's pleading for changes, or else the game will die.
well, I mean, the game, does Blizzard really care that much? Like,
Yeah, because they're now trying to make all these changes to save the game. We were asking
or
people were
are they
asking
just
for
or are
consistent
they just
characters being entered, and now they're doing like a character every couple months.
or are they just trying out new things before they ultimately release the next new thing?
The next new thing is going to be PVE Overwatch.
Yeah, I don't
Mm.
know. I don't know if an Overwatch 2 is in the future, but what I do know is Activision has been putting pressure on Blizzard specifically because they've been unprofitable year over year since the initial release year of Overwatch. At least if I remember over the past couple of earnings calls from Activision or whatever it was. So they have to do something.
It's got to be hard. I mean, you go the games. No one's buying the games on disc. Loot boxes. I'm sure the revenue off loot boxes has diminished ridiculously after the whole scandal.
Oh yeah.
So it's got to be hard to make money. Blizzard is kind of, this. It's not the Blizzard that we grew up with.
It is not.
Mm-mm.
They got their priorities all mixed up. They're being somewhat used by Activision.
It's not somewhat. Literally, all Activision cares on the bottom is the bottom line. I mean, Activision or Blizzard laid off, or Activision. You know, it came down from the shareholders or from the board, but they basically laid off a lot of Blizzard related customer service on the same day that they announced some of their highest earnings. So it's Activision in control. I do know that.
That's the
Say-
reason Bungie got out. So I mean,
Yeah. I mean, we are getting Warcraft Classic, but it Warcraft Classic is reminiscent of all of these Disney Channel movies getting
Tread lightly.
live action remakes. You know, if you can't come up with something
Boys
new,
tread lightly.
huh? I was just saying, if you can't come up with something new, take something old and put a fresh
Nostalgia.
paint.
Well,
Put a fresh
nostalgia
paint.
sells.
See, here's the thing, Jake. In Modern WoW is actual trash pile dumpster fire on fucking like a garbage shit city. So the thing about it is that I and a lot of people would like to go back to a time where everything wasn't handed to us and it was still fun to play. So the thing about it is all I got, like, if it's all included in one sub. So if you do have the thing that you want to go over and you want to play Modern WoW, more power to you. You can do that, but there is a market for people that want to play something that was fun whenever the current version is trash.
Fair enough.
some
I have
say
not checked it out.
some say, Blizzard is just cheating people out of the best experience they could have on their platform. But a company taking a stance is the game makers of Apex Legends. They're taking a stance against cheaters.
They have. Apex Legends has announced that they will make cheaters play against each other.
I think that's actually pretty cool.
This is actually really neat, and I will say this. Okay, so I kind of followed it pretty heavily at launch in the subreddit and whatnot, and at the beginning, people were fairly upset at the frequency in which, Respawn, communicated to everyone what they were doing, what their intentions was. Nobody knew. Well, that has changed. They do it pretty frequently now. And what I remember from all those updates is they were super, super tight-lipped about how they were going to deal with the issue of cheaters on PC. But it looks like that moving forward, that they are going to essentially try to weed out those that are making good money developing cheats for players to use. And what they're going to do is they've detailed recently some of the steps they're going to take to squash that. Unscrupulous players continue to be a major pain point for the Apex Legends community. And then moving forward, they said, we know reports of cheaters, especially in ranked, have been a hot topic this week. So we also want to provide a little visibility into some of the work that's going on behind the scenes to combat cheating. Something that they were not doing before because they didn't want the quote unquote, the cheaters to know what their move was going to be. Some of Respawn's efforts are common sense, developing new systems to detect cheating. Easy anti-cheat is not great. Adapting to new cheats, which are developed all the time, good luck there. And devoting additional resources to the problem. But one answer is particularly noteworthy. According to Respawn, it is working on a way to sequester known cheaters in the same games, almost like their very own cheater battle royale. Now, they do recommend... if one of your friends is a cheater, don't pair with them because you could be flagged as a potential cheater as well.
Really?
Yeah,
so you get roped in because of your dickish friend?
I mean,
Yeah,
you know what they're doing.
Have you heard the old saying, Cynthia? Show me your friends and I'll tell you something. Whatever. I don't know.
How does it sound?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't know what you're saying.
I had no idea where you're going with that.
You know what I'm saying. Show me your friends and I'll show you yourself or something like that.
Where are you going to be in 5 years?
No.
2 years?
No.
6 months?
Well, anyway, so most of the panel, you guys do play Apex, so... what do you guys really think about this? I don't know. I haven't played it, so I can't say I've dealt with cheaters, and I'm probably not good enough to know if I was anyway. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, honestly, I don't really see cheaters as big as a problem on PS4 as it is on console. Or, I mean, as it is on PC. I've not really have a big opinion on this.
Yeah, I don't have a big opinion because I've never really experienced a lot of cheaters, if any, because I wouldn't really recognize them. But I enjoy the game, and if they're making some changes to make the game better and counteract the people that are cheating, whether it be on console or PC, then it's good.
Personally, I just think it's interesting. I think the noteworthy thing here, playing on PC and experiencing it, or playing on PS4 and not experiencing it. Yes, Chris, you're absolutely right. They actually have been hyper receptive to changes from the community, which has been really, really awesome. But also, giving the cheaters a taste of their own medicine is so old school, first and foremost. And secondly, it's just, I don't know, it's just out of the box thinking to solve an issue that I wish that more developers were open to, rather than the just like, well, it's maybe too big of an overhaul for us to actually do anything, so just kind of deal with it, or just not listening to the community at all.
Yeah.
I don't care about Apex. I care more about cheating in Splatoon. I'm not sure.
Isn't Splatoon's last Splatfest coming up, or did it come up already?
It's this weekend.
It started already today. I think it's going. Usually
is it?
Splatfest is from Friday until Saturday at midnight, but this one's going to be Friday, Saturday, and all day Sunday. Chaos versus Order.
What team are you?
I have not started it yet, as Splatoon 2 is on cartridge, and I did not want to change out the game that is in my Switch. But I'm gonna pick Chaos probably.
I can see
Cause
you being
fuck them,
chaos.
that's why.
So, I know that we were talking about Apex and we've transitioned. Has Nintendo? Are they going to continue? They're going to continue to support the game, right? There's just not going to be any additional events, right?
They
I,
said so when they came out with Splatoon 2. They said they were going to. They set the amount of time that they were going to do the Splatfest. Uh, and this is the last one, and I believe them. Uh, where we go
you
from here is kind of similar, I think, to where we're at with Mario Kart, where they're not putting out any new content per se, but people are still playing it. It's still selling like hotcakes, and everyone's looking forward to the next game, and they're continuing to enjoy what we have. I just think the cheating in Splatoon is so much more frustrating than any other game because like they're so blatant about it. Like they'll roll up on you and just throw like 10 ink bombs at you in a row, and it's just really annoying.
Real quick, thank you, Mr. Antoine, for the sub. We appreciate you. I'm not gonna sound the horns because everyone wearing headphones today, but thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Hey, Jake, didn't Nintendo say they're not working on Splatoon 3 though?
they said that, but I don't. I believe that they're.
They
thinking
also
about it.
said, I mean, they say a lot of things.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's true. They said they're not working on a Switch revision,
First of all,
and the
they
Switch
said they're
Lite
not
commercial
working
came out.
on Splatoon 3. Really, they're not working on it.
I
If
just
they
think they
want
can't
it
say
to
that.
come out within, before the end of the Switch life cycle, they better be working on it.
Yeah, I mean that game did super well for them, right? Especially, and it's like one of their pillars for all of their tournaments and stuff besides Smash, right?
Yeah, it's really popular competitively, especially in Japan. I think it sold over 2 million copies in Japan.
Dang.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's really something. So I don't think they would turn their back on it. It makes no sense.
Well,
Losing money.
with all that being said, I think that is wrapping a big. I was gonna say big ass bow, but I'll still say that's wrapping a big ass bow
Oh my God.
on this beautiful show. Rax threw me off by his by his chats there. So, but thank you everybody for joining. I'm going to go to my beautiful panel of folks here. This was a little bit of a long one today, so thank you everybody for chilling with us. Thank you everybody for hanging out with us today. Thank you for all the new follows and everything. I freaking appreciate it. But starting with that, we'll start with our guest first and foremost, Mr. Chris Levi. Tell people where they can find you and anything else you want to tell these beautiful folks.
You can find me on youtube.com/ChrisLevi13 for 2 to 3 streams per week there, and then the rest of them are over on Mixer/ChrisLevi13. The reason for that being, just to let everybody know, is because at E3 has part of that whole Ubisoft thing. So I was like, I'm gonna do the majority of my games over here, have a second platform, so in case anything happens to my YouTube, I can be safe to still create content, still stream for you all. But yeah, you can find me all across social media. Just put in the Twitter, wherever you go, Google, whatever. Just put Chris Levi13, and you should be able to find me, chat with me. Join my Discord, and get to know me. I love live streaming. I do a lot of it, and I create videos. And sometimes I might do something with some of these musical instruments on the channel and play some music for you.
Awesome. Codex, you are our Secretary of State. Can you find his link and drop it in the chat for everybody? Thank you, sir. Mr. Mono Pulse, tell people where they can find you and anything that you want to tell them, anything you're working on.
Yeah, you can follow me on the Twitter. You can find me on the Twitch, the Mixer, the YouTube, pretty much everywhere. Monopulse or mono_pulse.
Also, we got a tag for you now. It's what is it? Exclamation Mono. Let's see if it works.
Oh, fancy.
No, I did.
Neat. I like it.
There you go.
But no, upcoming. Basically, I'm gonna play some Persona 5 tomorrow,
Oof.
and I am. I guess side project. I'm gonna be building a secondary like stream computer digester encoder thing. I'm not gonna do it on stream or anything, but I'll be testing it out. So if you do drop in, if you could give me some feedback on the quality or whatnot, or if you could just bear with the technical difficulties, I would greatly appreciate it.
Also too, maybe you don't live stream, maybe you record, maybe you do something later. We're all not PC enthusiasts who know how to build one. It'd be nice to,
Yeah, do
have a
step by
friend who does
step.
some content around that.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Show
Yo,
somebody how to
RR
build it.
Revengenator, thank you for joining, and you know what's good. Hey, thank you for dropping the stickers. All right, Mr. Jakin, where can people find you? What can they expect upcoming?
What's up, guys? Pro Jakin here on YouTube. My name is going to be changing here as soon as those damn
Again?
terrorists release it.
YouTube terrorist.
Your fault for going with Pro Jacob.
Did you get flagged for that?
Shut up, Cynthia. I'm going to be. This weekend is going to be chock full of Marvel Ultimate Alliance goodness, as long as I don't die in my apartment.
Oh yeah,
Look
absolutely.
out for that.
We talked about that at the beginning of the show too. You're gonna tell us a couple of things that you're super excited about it. Forgot about that.
Dude. Yeah,
You're just trying not to
I'm-
die.
yeah. I think more than anything, I'm really excited to play with everybody that's getting the game. Chips, your player 2, Avedon if he decides to get it, Rax if he decides to get it. This is going to be a lot of fun. I also particularly love X-Men and kind of the more... It's a weird one. I love Daredevil for whatever reason. So I think I'm going to be... My team is going to be interesting. It's going to have some X-Men. It's going to have Daredevil. It's probably going to have Rocket and Groot. It's going to be it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to kind of delving into the Marvel Universe.
Rex says he's
I've-
not going to play with you.
Rax plays with himself.
He does.
But yeah, I just have a lot of nostalgia for X-Men games and for Marvel Ultimate Alliance. So it's gonna be pretty sweet.
Oh, everyone also is requesting that you make a true appearance next podcast.
Bruh, I'm
next
on
week.
the camera on my channel.
You gotta show your face
wanna
on
see
this
here.
channel. Well,
Let's-
speaking about a beautiful face, that goes us over to Codex, Mr. Green, Mr. Mean, Mr. Screen.
Well, I just really think that
Good stuff coming, guys.
yeah, you know where to find me. I'm here at the Game Looters. I have not been streaming as much, and I'm sure those who actually noticed. Steve,
No
thanks,
one
Steve.
noticed.
Wasn't here today, but yeah, you guys will find us here. Love you guys so much.
And
So-
and then that'll transition to us, since you said whatever you said. It's
We had 6
fantastic.
people here at one point, Dom.
We need to get like a petition for you to fucking iron your damn green screen.
I'm gonna
Right?
let it wrinkle more and more every podcast.
Stop.
Go start a GoFundMe for your green screen. Well, that transitions to us. Of course, thank you guys so much for joining us today. Thank you, Nicholas, for stopping by. I appreciate everybody for coming in and chilling with us today. You guys have all been amazing. Thank you for my cast. Thank you, guest Mr. Chris Levi, for chilling with us over here, being part of the Loot Gang today on the LootCast. As always, you guys can find us right here Thursdays at 8 p.m. Pacific time each and every week. One thing that's guaranteed is the LootCast to bring you all the fun, nerdy news happening around the video game industry. I checked. Oh my gosh! I checked my. My subscribe. I checked my subscription feed, and I don't have anybody streaming. So if anybody has anybody to raid, please put their link in the chat. And on Rax's note, I think that is a good place to stop. Did anybody have anybody they would like to raid? Because I don't have anybody in my feed who's live.
Nate streaming.
I see. I have a bunch of people on mine. I could drop one.
Yeah, drop it in. Drop it in. Let's drop it in here. Who we got?
Actually, you can't, Chris. You're not a mod. But it's okay. Who?
You'll just get blocked for.
You might
Oh, okay. Then I'll drop.
You might be a mod. Who is it? I'll find an all grubs link.
Who is it?
Don't take my mod away, please.
It is a YouTuber by the name of KJ Del Rey. Yeah, it's KJ, then DEL, and then REY.
All right, everybody on the panel, let's go raid. Let's be let's pleasey and be cheesy. Put hashtag LootGang, please.
Hashtag LootGang. I'm already in there.
There we go. Jake, you find it?
No.
All right, Codex, you're up then if you found it.
Bro, she said, I just jumped in and she goes, I'ma fuck you up.
Oh, I found it.
Man.
All right, put the link. Spam it.
Here it is.
All right, bet. All right, guys, let's head over there, show her some love, and thank everybody for stopping by, and we will catch you all on the next one. Later.